Hey, how about a rumor? Might as well, since a lot of those are coming true these days, especially in the case of Star Wars, unfortunately. Yeah. But anyway, also, rumors for the DC Comics properties in film and television seem to be true as well, especially in television with Greg Berlanti, who oversees all the CW shows. And the rumor had been that there was going to be a Green Lantern television series, and that's true. He's developing it for HBOMax. And the other one was, what was it? Strange Adventures. Not Avengers. Strange Adventures, which I believe is supposed to be like an anthology series with the first story detailing Adam Strange. But I could be wrong on that. But anyway, here comes another one. And I'm getting this from Bounding Into Comics, and they got it from YouTuber JLS Comics, I believe, or Mikey's. Or, yeah, okay, we'll read it. I'm not familiar with JLS, but there's their video, and you can check that out. A new rumor details that Arrow and Supergirl executive producer Greg Berlanti has another assignment lined up for HBO Max, a Legion of Superheroes miniseries. All right, well, and then it'll be pretty well contained, I suppose. But if it does well, they'll probably do another one. Word is, it's going to be epic. So Mikey Sutton served up the scoop to an exclusive to JLS Comics, an associate of Lords of the Longbox on YouTube. And says Berlanti's going cosmic and planning a Legion adaptation that has a big budget behind it. Now, the Green Lantern Corps series has a big budget behind it, and they want to make it look, like the movies, and so it's a bigger deal than the soap operas you've seen on CW. So, it'll look great now, but if it's the same soap opera style storylines, well, but Legion of Superheroes has had a long storied history. It spun out of Superboy, and different iterations of it. I'm more familiar with the 80s version, which I guess, I'm trying to remember if this is from that period. Boy, what's the story here? And then Supergirl joined them for a while, and then of course they've made an appearance on the Supergirl show, most notably Mon-El, who was this guy that I think originally they were insinuating that he might have been Superman's long lost brother, and he was trapped in the Phantom Zone, but he had an illness, and which made him susceptible to lead, I believe. And but so he had to stay in he wasn't a criminal or anything, but he had to stay in the Phantom Zone, otherwise he would die if he got out. And so Superman couldn't save him, and so he stayed there. But later on, it was revealed that he was not even Kryptonian. He was from a planet that was very similar to Krypton called Daxamite, and that's where he came from. So he had similar powers as Kryptonians, but a little different. And so I think the story was he was stuck in the Phantom Zone until the year 3000, when the Legion of Superheroes rescued him, saved him, and cured his illness, and he joined them as a part of their team. Which, man, I forget how many members there were. It just went on and on and on. But so that was his story, and he was one of the more notable members of the Legion of Superheroes. But anyway, it spun out of Superboy, where Superboy travels to the future, and he meets these future superheroes in the year 3000, and they say, "Oh boy, you're a historical figure, and we look up to you," and all this sort of stuff. And there's been, of course, like I said, different versions of it. For a while, they wiped it out after Crisis on Infinite Earths, at least the Superboy part, and then reintroduced it and said, well, he could have had Superboy adventures, but in the future, and this is kind of how he trained to become the Superman he was destined to be, which is actually a better version of it. When the idea of Superboy just never made sense to me, because then when Superman makes his debut, they're like, hey, look, it's Superboy, but he's all grown up, and it takes away from it. So the idea that he went off into the future and had all these space age adventures and whatnot, you know, it still kind of takes away from the Superman debut, like it's his first time out as Superman, but it's a way to kind of tuck it away there, that sort of thing. Then, of course, you can rewrite it again where there's these other Superboys. You know, you had Connor Kent, which was the clone of Lex and Superman. And then now Superman and Lois have a son, and then he could be the Superboy of the Legion. And boy, I tell you, the way things are going with the announcement that they're going to do this Superman series, which is Superman and Lois, and they already have their child. And I'm wondering if they'll finagle that, where maybe they'll jump ahead in time or what have you. Who knows, after they do their crisis thing, that they'll have this teenage boy to be a part of this Legion of Superheroes thing, and that's what it'll be. But with the approach of it being a more expensive show, I don't know that it'll be connected. It might, well, connected in the sense that it's an alternate universe type thing, which they've already acknowledged, and won't have any of the actors from the CW version. So it would be a step up beyond just, a soap opera. That's basically what the CW shows are, is primetime soap operas. And but Legion of Superheroes was primarily a teenage superheroes, which was probably one of the reasons why I never really got into it. I was a bit, like I said, fonder of the 80s version because they were adults at that point. I think they grew up. And so that's what the stories that I was, I was in and out. I was never a big fan of it. The title just can't seem to come back. They keep trying to refresh it, and they got a new one out now. I read the first issue, and the art was good, but that's about it. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm thinking it's like this is early in development, if it's even true. Which but like I said, a lot of these rumors just keep coming true. So I'm thinking Green Lantern Corps. They'll have to see how that goes, and if that's really good, then he's pretty much full steam ahead for this one. But the fact that he's even in charge of this, because a lot of the CW shows, I just don't see where you can call those successes. I mean, for CW, but CW, it's a small audience. Their best show going is The Flash, and it's not really all that great most of the time. And the rest of them are just, they're terrible. Supergirl is awful. And Batwoman, oh man. So I had nothing better to do, so I binged the episodes so far. Yeah, I need to get a video on that at some point. Oh, boy. It's pretty bad. Everything you heard is true. It's bad. But so it's interesting that they gave him this budget to do all of this, but I guess maybe it's just a case of nobody else wanted to. I don't know. But this is more likely, I think. I hear this line about there's a rumor to adapt Kingdom Come, which would be great if done right. But I'm dubious on that. I like Brandon Routh, but he's pretty much wasted on the CW shows, even though his enthusiasm is obvious. He really loves doing these characters, but he needs a better script. So Legion of Superheroes could come a mini-series so they could test the waters with it. And just like I said, based on the fact that they're giving Berlanti all this money to do these Green Lantern shows and all that, this is probably true. And they'll test the waters with this one. But I think Green Lantern's going to have to do really well before it gets the green light. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Possible Legion of Superheroes coming your way on HBOMax. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Yes, that's right, you. And you can find the link to my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, at radiomisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.